The quantum sensors aboard the Proxima research station hummed quietly as Dr. Elena Santos reviewed the latest data from the colony's shield harmonics. 50 years of human presence on Proxima b had transformed the once barren world into humanity's first thriving extrasolar settlement. Through the observatory's crystalline viewport, she watched as the colony's biodomes glittered under the crimson light of their adopted star. Dr. Santos, her AI assistant, chimed. The anniversary celebration preparations are complete. Governor Chen requests your presence at the opening ceremony. Elena smiled, remembering the day she'd first arrived as a fresh-faced quantum physicist. Now, at 45, she led the colony's most ambitious project, Project Prometheus, humanity's attempt to unlock the secrets of faster-than-light travel. The irony wasn't lost on her that they would achieve this milestone on the colony's golden anniversary. The celebration never began. The first sign came as a subtle distortion in the quantum field readings. Elena noticed it only because she spent the last decade studying every fluctuation in local spacetime. The massive object that emerged from hyperspace didn't belong to any known human design. Its surface rippled like liquid metal, a vessel easily 20 kilometers long that seemed to absorb the light from Proxima Centauri rather than reflect it. In the following moments, 12 more ships materialized, arranging themselves in a perfect geometric pattern around the colony. This is Proxima Control broadcasting on all frequencies. Governor Chen's voice echoed through the station. Unknown vessels, you have entered restricted human space. Please identify yourselves and state your intentions. The response came in perfect English, though the voice carried harmonics that made Elena's teeth ache. We are the Verax Imperium. Your presence has been noted in our registry of primitive species. Your attempt at colonization, while admirable for your level of development, encroaches upon space designated for future Verax expansion. Elena's hands flew across her console, activating Project Prometheus' sensor suite. The readings made her blood run cold. The energy signatures from the Verax ships dwarfed anything humanity had achieved, suggesting technology centuries beyond Earth's capabilities. Governor Chen's voice remained steady. We respectfully disagree with your assessment. This colony was established under international space law and the Outer Space Treaty of 1967. We claim legitimate sovereignty. Your human laws are irrelevant. The Verax voice interrupted. However, we are not unnecessarily cruel. You have 6 of your Earth hours to evacuate. Any remaining presence after this deadline will be considered hostile. Elena watched as Governor Chen activated the Quantum Entanglement Communicator, humanity's most closely guarded technological achievement. The device could transmit instant messages across any distance, though its existence remained hidden from the galactic community. Earth Command, Chen spoke quietly. We have a first contact situation. Requesting immediate. The research vessel, Copernicus, temporarily docked at the colony for the anniversary celebration. Chose that moment to power up its engines. Elena recognized the ship's young captain, David Chen, the governor's son. The vessel's comm system crackled to life. This is Captain Chen of the Copernicus. We have children aboard from the colony's school program. Please allow us to begin evacuation procedures. The Verax response came in the form of a single energy pulse. The beam, precise and devastating, reduced the Copernicus to its constituent atoms. 300 souls, including 70 children, vanished in an instant of violet light. Silence fell across all channels. The demonstration concludes our discussion, the Verax announced. 5 hours and 42 minutes remain. We suggest you use them wisely. Elena's quantum sensors recorded everything. The exact frequency of the weapon, the energy patterns of their shields, the subtle fluctuations in their seemingly perfect hull. Most importantly, they captured the underlying arrogance in the Verax's actions. They hadn't even bothered to scan the Copernicus before destroying it, assuming anything humans built would be primitive and irrelevant. Governor Chen's next transmission went directly to Earth Command through the quantum channel, his voice carrying a cold fury that Elena had never heard before. This is Governor Chen of Proxima Colony. The Verax Imperium has just destroyed the Copernicus with all hands aboard. My son was captain." He paused, composing himself, requesting immediate implementation of Protocol Zero. Alina's security clearance barely hinted at Protocol Zero's existence, but she knew it represented humanity's ultimate contingency plan. While the public saw Earth as a relatively young spacefaring civilization, focused on peaceful exploration and scientific advancement, a select few knew the truth. Her quantum sensors detected new signals, subtle, almost invisible fluctuations in spacetime. To the Verax's advanced scanners, they would appear as mere background radiation. But Alina recognized them. Activation codes for humanity's hidden fleet, ships that officially didn't exist, incorporating technology that humanity supposedly hadn't discovered yet. The next 5 hours became a carefully choreographed dance. The colony initiated emergency evacuation procedures, launching escape pods and shuttles filled with civilians. The Verax watched with apparent satisfaction, never realizing that each vessel carried more than refugees. Quantum-encoded data streamed from Alina's sensors to Earth Command, providing crucial intelligence about their new enemy. As the evacuation deadline approached, Alina received new orders through her secure channel. She wasn't to board an escape vessel. Instead, she would remain behind with a select team, hidden in the colony's hardened bunkers. Their presence, and the sophisticated sensors they operated, would become the foundation of humanity's response. The Verax never wondered why the humans accepted their ultimatum so quietly. They never questioned why a species capable of establishing an extrasolar colony offered no military resistance. Their certainty in their own superiority blinded them to the obvious question: why would humanity put its most advanced research station so far from Earth without means to defend it? As Alina sealed herself in the hidden bunker, watching the Verax ships prepare to destroy the surface installations, she thought of the Copernicus and its lost souls. The Verax had made a fatal mistake. They had assumed humanity's apparent passivity indicated weakness, never considering it might mask something far more dangerous: patience. The wheels of retribution had already begun to turn, set in motion by a single act of casual cruelty. The Verax would learn, too late, that humanity had spent centuries preparing for this moment. They would discover that Earth's seemingly primitive technology masked carefully planned deception, and that human ingenuity, fueled by righteous vengeance, was about to change the galaxy forever. Admiral Sarah Chen sat motionless in her command chair aboard the TSS Nightingale, hidden in the dark matter cloud 20 light-years from Earth. The quantum display before her showed the final moments of Proxima Colony's surface installations crumbling under Verax weapons fire. Her brother's last transmission played on repeat in her mind, but her face betrayed nothing of the grief that threatened to overwhelm her. "Status report," she commanded, her voice steady. Commander Raj Patel, her tactical officer, responded immediately. "Shadow Fleet reports ready, Admiral. All 98 vessels maintaining quantum stealth protocols. The Verax remain unaware of our presence." The Nightingale represented humanity's true technological achievement, a vessel that officially didn't exist. While Earth presented itself to the galaxy as a fledgling spacefaring civilization with crude fusion drives and basic shield technology, the Shadow Fleet carried weapons and defenses developed through centuries of secret advancement. Dr. Santos' data package has been fully analyzed. Dr. Meyer Wright, the ship's chief scientist, reported. The Verax energy signatures are exactly what we predicted. Their technological advancement followed the expected pattern: powerful, but predictable. They haven't made a significant breakthrough in over 3 centuries. Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. Humanity had spent generations preparing for first contact, studying the ruins of ancient civilizations, and developing countermeasures for every conceivable technological path. The Verax, for all their apparent superiority, had fallen into the most common trap of advanced civilizations: stagnation. "Begin Phase 1, Sarah ordered. "Deploy the quantum seeds." Across the Shadow Fleet, specialized launchers activated, Each ship released thousands of microscopic devices, quantum-encoded nanobots designed to infiltrate and map every aspect of Varak's technology. The tiny machines would ride the Empire's own communication networks, hiding in plain sight as routine data packets. "Admiral," Raj interrupted, "the Varak's fleet is departing Proxima B. They're broadcasting their victory across all known frequencies." The message played through the bridge speakers. "Let it be known that the Varak's Imperium has cleansed unauthorized colonization from Sector 7249. The primitive human species has been appropriately disciplined and will now understand its proper place in the galactic order." Sarah's fingers tightened on her armrest, the only outward sign of her anger. "Send the response through diplomatic channels." Earth's official transmission went out immediately. The United Earth government protests this unprovoked act of aggression and requests immediate diplomatic negotiations to prevent further conflict. The Varak's reply came swiftly. "Your request is noted. A representative will contact your government within one standard galactic cycle to discuss terms of your species' proper integration into the imperial hierarchy." Meanwhile, beneath the surface of diplomatic exchanges, humanity's true response unfolded. The quantum seeds spread through Varak space, carried by their own ships. Each seed contained a fragment of what would become their downfall. A quantum virus designed by Dr. Elena Santos herself, waiting for the signal to activate. In her hidden bunker on Proxima B, Elena watched through surviving sensors as the Varak's fleet departed. Her team had already begun the process of rebuilding. Not the visible colony, but the secret facilities deep underground. The surface destruction would maintain the illusion of humanity's weakness while masking their true activities. Phase 1 completion at 60%, Maya reported aboard the Nightingale. Quantum seed network establishing primary nodes throughout Varak space. Their security systems are registering them as routine background processes. Sarah opened a secure channel to Earth Command. Shadow Fleet reporting. Operation Nightfall proceeding as planned. Request permission to proceed with Phase 2. The response came from Fleet Admiral Davidson himself. "Permission granted, Admiral Chen. Remember, timing is crucial. We must allow the quantum seed network to fully mature before revealing our presence. The Varaks must never suspect until it's too late." Sarah turned to her crew, each member representing the finest minds and strongest hearts humanity had produced. The Varaks believe they've witnessed humanity's submission. They expect us to cower, to accept their dominance, to be grateful for whatever scraps of autonomy they deign to give us. She stood, facing the quantum display, showing the spreading network of seeds throughout Varak space. They believe their technology makes them invincible. They never considered that their greatest strength could become their greatest vulnerability. Every system they've built, every network they've created, will become a weapon turned against them. In the weeks that followed, humanity played its role perfectly. Earth's diplomatic corps expressed fear and submission, begging for generous terms from their Varak's overlords. Trade ships followed regulated routes, careful to demonstrate appropriately primitive technology. Every action reinforced the Varak's belief in their absolute superiority. Deep in their sealed bunker, Elena's team worked tirelessly, analyzing the data flowing back through the quantum seed network. Each transmission revealed more about Varak's technology, their defensive systems, their communication protocols. The Empire's own overconfidence made them blind to the growing threat within their systems. "Admiral," Maya reported 1 month after the Proxima attack, "quantum seed network coverage has reached 98%. We're receiving detailed schematics of every major Varak's installation, every ship design, every weapon system." Sarah nodded, reviewing the latest intelligence. The Varak's had started constructing a new administrative center on Proxima B, intended to oversee humanity's integration into their empire. They'd never questioned why the humans had accepted their presence so readily, or why Earth's resistance amounted to nothing more than diplomatic protests. "Time to begin Phase 2, Sarah announced. "Contact all Shadow Fleet vessels. Prepare for synchronized emergence. Dr. Santos' team has provided the final targeting data. She opened a channel to her entire command. The Verax believe they taught humanity a lesson at Proxima B. They're about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon isn't our technology or our ships. It's our patience, our ability to wait for the perfect moment to strike. The Shadow Fleet began to move, each ship positioning itself near a critical Verax installation. The quantum seeds pulsed silently within the Empire's networks, ready to transform from passive observers into active weapons. The trap was set, waiting only for the signal to close. In her bunker, Alina made the final adjustments to the quantum virus. The Verax would never know what hit them until it was far too late. They had killed her friends, destroyed her home, and thought themselves invincible in their technological superiority. They were about to learn the cost of underestimating humanity's resolve. The Verax High Command spire on their capital world Zexthor pierced the violet clouds, its crystalline surface refracting the light of 3 suns. In his private chambers, High Commander Vextal reviewed reports of humanity's continued submission with growing satisfaction. The primitive species had learned its place quickly, offering no resistance beyond futile diplomatic protests. He had no way of knowing that his own quantum processors were broadcasting every detail of his daily routine to hidden receivers light years away. Aboard the Nightingale, Maya Wright analyzed the incoming data stream. "Admiral, the quantum seed network has achieved complete integration. We're receiving real-time intelligence from every major Verax installation, including High Command." Sarah Chen studied the holographic display, showing the vast web of quantum seeds pulsing throughout Verax space. Each point of light represented a node in their invisible network, feeding critical data back to the Shadow Fleet. Status of Phase 2. 97% complete, Raj reported. Dr. Santos's virus has replicated itself throughout their primary and backup systems. We can trigger a cascade failure across their entire empire with a single command. The quantum seeds had performed beyond expectations, exploiting the Verax's greatest weakness, their absolute trust in their technological superiority. The Empire's automated systems had accepted the seeds as routine updates, spreading them from ship to ship, planet to planet, until they reached even the most secure installations. Deep beneath Proxima B's surface, Alina Santos monitored the virus's integration through her quantum-linked terminal. The Verax administrators above her secret bunker continued construction of their new regional headquarters, never detecting the subtle changes in their systems. "Begin final verification sequence," Alina transmitted to the Nightingale. "We need to ensure the virus will affect all their systems simultaneously. We can't risk any warning reaching their emergency protocols." Her team had spent weeks analyzing the Verax command structure, identifying every possible failure point. The Empire's rigid hierarchy and standardized technology had made them vulnerable. Every ship, every weapon, every defensive system relied on the same quantum protocols that Alina's virus could turn against them. Dr. Santos, one of her assistants, called out, "We're detecting unusual activity in the Verax Administrative Center. They're implementing a routine security upgrade." Alina smiled grimly. "Perfect timing. Their own security protocols will distribute the final components of our virus. They're doing our work for us." Across Verax space, automated systems dutifully installed what they believed were standard security updates. Each installation strengthened the invisible web of humanity's revenge, bringing them closer to the moment of revelation. On the Nightingale's bridge, Sarah received a priority transmission from Earth Command. "Admiral Chen, the Verax Diplomatic Court has scheduled their first official audience with Earth's government. They intend to formally announce our species' status as a protectorate of their empire." "Acknowledged," Sarah replied. "Timing coordinates with our final preparations. All Shadow Fleet vessels report ready for synchronized emergence." The scope of humanity's deception was absolute. While the Verax congratulated themselves on subjugating another primitive species, they remained blind to the true extent of human advancement. The Shadow Fleet's quantum stealth technology rendered them invisible not just to sensors, but to fundamental space-time detection methods. Alina's latest report appeared on Sarah's display. Virus integration complete. All Verax systems compromised. Awaiting your command for activation. Sarah opened a channel to her entire fleet. All vessels, prepare for Operation Thunderfall. Position yourselves at your designated coordinates. When the virus activates, we'll have exactly 6 minutes before their backup systems attempt to restore control. Every strike must count. The Shadow Fleet moved silently through Verax space, each ship carrying weapons specifically designed to exploit weaknesses in Verax technology. Their quantum drives, far more advanced than the crude fusion engines humanity publicly displayed, allowed them to maneuver without detection. In his crystal spire, High Commander Vextal prepared his speech for Earth's submission ceremony. Let it be recorded, he dictated, that humanity has shown wisdom in accepting their proper place. Their colony's destruction served as an effective lesson in galactic hierarchy. His words transmitted directly to Sarah's bridge through the quantum seed network. She thought of her nephew aboard the Copernicus, of the children who had died because of Verax arrogance. Transmit to all Shadow Fleet vessels, she ordered. Synchronize attack clocks. Phase 3 begins in 10 minutes. Alina's team made their final adjustments to the virus. The quantum code waited like a coiled spring, ready to unleash chaos throughout the Empire's perfectly ordered systems. Every screen, every communication device, every quantum processor would turn against its masters simultaneously. Admiral, Maya reported, quantum seed network showing green across all vectors. The virus is fully primed and awaiting activation signal. Sarah stood at her command station, watching the countdown. The Verax had assumed humanity's apparent weakness reflected their true capabilities. They had never considered that a species capable of establishing an extrasolar colony might have hidden strengths, or that their submission might mask a deeper purpose. All hands, Sarah announced shipwide, prepare for combat operations. The Verax believed they were teaching humanity its place in the galaxy. We're about to show them exactly where that place is. The countdown reached its final minutes. Throughout Verax space, Shadow Fleet vessels silently took their positions near critical military installations. Alina's team stood ready in their underground bunker, preparing to witness the fruits of their labor. The invisible threads of humanity's revenge had been woven through every aspect of the Empire's infrastructure, waiting only for the signal to pull tight. The time for patience was ending. The time for retribution had begun. High Commander Vextal stood before the assembled dignitaries in the Grand Hall of Submission on Zexthor. Representatives from every major galactic power had gathered to witness humanity's formal integration into the Verax Imperium. Earth's diplomatic delegation waited silently, their expressions appropriately humble. Let all assembled bear witness, Vextal began, his bioluminescent markings pulsing with pride, as humanity accepts its destined place within our enlightened empire. The words triggered an automated broadcast across all Verax frequencies. Every screen, every holographic display, every quantum communication device in their empire carried his voice. It was exactly what Sarah Chen had been waiting for. Execute Operation Thunderfall, she commanded. Alina Santos, deep in her bunker beneath Proxima B, pressed a single key. The quantum virus awakened. Across Verax space, every system connected to their quantum network began to change. In the Grand Hall, Vextal's speech dissolved into static. The massive displays behind him flickered, then showed something that froze the blood in his veins. Footage from the destruction of the Copernicus. What is the meaning of this? He demanded. The images shifted, showing children's faces, every soul lost aboard the research vessel. A human voice, cold and clear, echoed through the hall. You believed your action at Proxima B would teach humanity its place. You were correct. Allow us to demonstrate what we learned. Sarah's voice continued as the Shadow Fleet dropped their quantum stealth fields simultaneously. 98 warships, each larger and more advanced than anything the Verax had ever encountered, appeared in perfect attack position around their most critical military installations. Impossible, Vextal roared. All defense systems, activate, destroy these human vessels. But the Empire's weapons remained silent. Their quantum cores, compromised by Alina's virus, rejected all commands. Instead, defensive platforms turned their weapons inward, targeting Verax ships with devastating precision. Admiral, Raj reported aboard the Nightingale, Phase 3 proceeding as planned. All Verax military installations have been neutralized. Their entire command and control network is under our control. The human diplomatic delegation in the Grand Hall stood, their humble expressions replaced with cold determination. Their leader addressed the assembled aliens. The Verax Imperium demonstrated their power by destroying an unarmed research vessel carrying children. Now, witness humanity's response. Throughout Verax space, Alina's virus displayed the same message on every screen. Detailed schematics of their own technology, annotated with human improvements. The message was clear. Humanity hadn't just matched their level of advancement. They had surpassed it long ago. Your Empire's greatest weakness, Sarah's voice continued broadcasting, was your certainty in your own superiority. You never questioned why a species capable of establishing an extrasolar colony would have such primitive defenses. You never wondered why we accepted your presence so quietly. The Shadow Fleet began precisely targeted strikes, each shot disabled rather than destroyed, demonstrating a level of control that terrified the watching aliens more than simple destruction would have. Humanity wasn't just defeating the Verax, they were dismantling them with surgical precision. In the chaos, Vextel tried to reach his personal escape vessel. The door to his private hangar opened to reveal a human figure, Alina Santos herself. Transported via technology, the Verax had thought impossible. Your ship won't respond, she informed him calmly. Nothing in your empire will respond to you now. We've had years to study your technology, to improve upon it, to prepare for this moment. The quantum seeds we planted throughout your networks weren't just for surveillance. They were teaching tools, allowing us to understand every aspect of your civilization. Above the capital, the Nightingale emerged from quantum stealth directly over the High Command spire. Sarah opened a channel to all frequencies, to all citizens of the Verax Imperium. Your military capabilities have been neutralized. Your leadership is in custody. Your technology is under our control. But unlike you, we do not destroy the defenseless. The Shadow Fleet's actions have been precisely calculated. Not a single civilian casualty, not one residential area damage. Every strike had targeted military and command installations with impossible precision, demonstrating not just superior technology, but superior ethics. You believed humanity needed to learn its place, Sarah continued. Here is your lesson. We are not what we appear to be. Our patience is not weakness. Our preparation is not primitive. Our mercy is not submission. In the Grand Hall, the assembled galactic representatives watched in stunned silence as humanity revealed its true face. The species they had dismissed as primitive newcomers had orchestrated the most comprehensive defeat of a major power in galactic history. Alina approached Vextel, holding a quantum tablet displaying the final casualty count from the Copernicus. 300 lives, she said quietly. That's what your empire traded itself for. 300 innocent lives that you thought wouldn't matter. The Verax High Commander stared at the images of the children, understanding finally dawning in his eyes. You could have prevented the attack. You had this capability all along. Yes, Alina replied. But then you wouldn't have learned the lesson we needed to teach. Humanity's place in the galaxy isn't what you thought it was. We're not here to submit. We're here to ensure that no species ever again mistakes technological advancement for the right to dominate others. Above, Sarah ordered the final phase of Operation Thunderfall. Throughout Verax space, quantum cores began to reactivate, but now they operated on human protocols, untouchable by their former masters. The empire that had thought itself invincible found itself completely at the mercy of those it had underestimated. Let this be recorded in galactic history, Sarah broadcast to the assembled representatives. Humanity's response to aggression is not always swift, but it is always certain. We have the patience to wait, the wisdom to prepare, and the power to act. Remember this day. Remember why it came. And remember what happens when you mistake patience for weakness. 1 year after Operation Thunderfall, the rebuilt Proxima colony gleamed under its crimson sun. The memorial garden, centered around a quantum-suspended fragment of the Copernicus, served as both a reminder of loss and a symbol of humanity's emergence from the shadows. Elena Santos stood before the assembled representatives of the Galactic Council, no longer hidden in an underground bunker, but proudly displaying humanity's true technological achievements. The chamber, constructed using a perfect blend of human and Varax technology, represented the new order they had established. The integration of former Varax territories continues as planned, she reported. Their civilian populations have adapted well to the transition, particularly after learning how their leadership had stagnated their technological development to maintain control. The council chamber's quantum displays showed the progress. Former Varax worlds flourishing under new administration, their people discovering that humanity's version of their technology offered capabilities their leaders had deliberately suppressed. Admiral Sarah Chen, now serving as Earth's primary representative to the Council, stood to address the Assembly. 1 year ago, humanity revealed its true nature to the galaxy. Today, we propose a new framework for interstellar relations, one based not on technological superiority, but on ethical advancement. The gathered representatives, including several former Varax administrators who had chosen to cooperate, listened intently. The humans had proven themselves not just militarily superior, but remarkably merciful in victory. Not a single civilian had died during Operation Thunderfall, and the subsequent reorganization had improved living conditions throughout former Varax space. We hidden our capabilities for centuries, Sarah continued, not out of fear, but out of hope that we would find peaceful partners in the galaxy. The Varax Empire's action forced our hand, but their defeat has offered us all an opportunity for something better. In orbit above Proxima b, the Nightingale's quantum sensors monitored the vast network of new defense installations, no longer hidden, but standing as a visible reminder of humanity's commitment to protecting all species under their care. The Shadow Fleet now operated openly, its vessels serving as peacekeepers rather than hidden weapons. Former High Commander Vextal, now serving as a cultural advisor to ease his people's transition, addressed the Council. My people's greatest mistake was not in underestimating human technology. It was in failing to understand that true advancement lies not in the weapons we build, but in how we choose to use them. Elena activated a holographic display showing the new quantum network spanning former Varax space. Unlike the Empire's rigid hierarchical system, this one operated on principles of transparency and shared advancement. We've dismantled the artificial barriers the Varax leadership placed on their own technology, she explained. Their people are now free to innovate, to discover, to advance at their own pace. The changes were evident everywhere. Former Varax military installations had been converted into research centers. The Empire's restrictive educational systems had been replaced with open institutions where all species could learn and contribute. The crystal spires of Zexthor no longer served as symbols of dominance, but as beacons of collaborative achievement. Humanity's greatest strength, Sarah addressed the Council, was never our hidden fleet or our advanced technology. It was our understanding that true power lies in the choice to use capability wisely. We could have revealed ourselves at any time. We could have dominated through force. Instead, we waited, we watched, and we acted only when necessary. The quantum displays showed scenes from across the reformed territories. Children of various species playing in new parks, scientists of different races collaborating in shared laboratories, former enemies working together to build something better than conquest. The lesson we taught the Varax, Elena added, wasn't just about the folly of underestimating humanity. It was about the importance of ethical advancement matching technological progress. Their empire fell not because their technology was inferior, but because their philosophy was flawed. In the memorial garden below, descendants of the Copernicus's crew tended the living monuments. plants and trees from Earth growing alongside Verax flora, creating something new and beautiful from the ashes of tragedy. We propose, Sarah concluded, a new galactic charter, one that judges civilizations not by their weapons or their territory, but by their contributions to the greater good. Humanity emerged from hiding not to rule but to guide, not to dominate, but to protect. The council chamber's quantum field hummed as representatives from dozens of species signaled their approval. The galaxy had witnessed humanity's power in the precise dismantling of the Verax Empire. Now they witnessed something rare, the wisdom to use that power for transformation rather than destruction. Let the record show, Elena declared, that humanity's place in the galaxy is not as conquerors or subjects, but as guardians of a simple truth. The strongest civilizations are not those that can destroy, but those that choose to build. The Verax Empire taught us that power without wisdom brings destruction. We teach in return that wisdom without fear brings progress. As the council session concluded, Sarah stood at the Memorial Garden's edge, watching the binary sunset of Proxima Centauri. The fragment of the Copernicus sparkled in its quantum suspension, a reminder of the price paid for this new era. But around it, life flourished, human and alien children learning together, former enemies working as allies, a galaxy beginning to understand that humanity's greatest weapon had never been its hidden fleet or advanced technology. It had been patience, the wisdom to wait for the right moment, and the strength to choose mercy over vengeance when that moment came.